I do find, keeping a positive outlook. I mean, how blessed am I to be a musician? I started off, I actually grew up with in music because my mom is Phyllis Morrissey. She's a singer. Actually, one of her clips used to play on MTV all the time, Ah the Sea.
Well,
Ah the Sea. Yeah, my very soul's the sea. It was her out on the cliff, and that was like playing. They used to play like all throughout the 80s. I think,
legacy piece.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So I grew up.
So that's how you got into music, basically.
Yeah,
Your mom was always singing, and you saw this is what mom does for a living.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she'd always be going out to do different like shows and specials and stuff. She knew Geoff actually. I met Geoff.
So Geoff Stirling, my grandfather, founder of MTV.
I met him before I met you. Like when I was 10 or something, she took me over to his house, and what an effect he had on me. I totally forgot I was going to mention that, but yeah, so.
Okay, we got to hear that story.
Yeah.
What was the impression Geoff Stirling made on you?
Well, he just blasted my mind open to things, reality being more than what I was exposed to up to that point. Although my mom was into a lot of, different things. What an influence she is on me too. So she became friends with Geoff, and then brought me over to his house, and he gave me that book with the triangle and the circle. What was and the square.
Yeah. So there's two of them that look similar. He wrote that one. It's called In Search of a New Age.
Right. Yeah.
That was the orange book, and then my dad wrote one called Holy Consciousness, and so that was Holy Bible of Consciousness. So there's two very esoteric, very powerful books in our family. They have the same covers. One's orange. One's blue.
So he gave me that book, and it just that was definitely a moment where that opened my little girl mind, and affected.
That's pretty intense reading. I mean, there's nothing controversial in it. It's just big words and deep thoughts for a 10-year-old girl. So you must be quite advanced and intelligent.
Well, I mean, I don't even remember the particulars of it because it was so long ago. But I remember the book, and I remember his conversation, and he was just so nurturing and beautiful, and what an effect it had on me. So so growing up with my mom and all the different, going along with her too, her CBC specials that she'd be doing, and stuff that she was doing with MTV and concerts, and getting to meet the wonderful grand band when I was like a little kid, and
it's total rock stars. I mean, those as big as you can get here in Newfoundland and Labrador. That's amazing.
And I remember having this memory of meeting Sandy Morris, and because I'd watch him on TV and be like, he's my favorite. And then Felissa would take me in to meet him, and now he's like one of my best buds. I love Sandy, right? I'm like, it's so amazing.
Also a huge fan of Sandy. Proud to say he has been on the show performing as Raza. And before I forget it, I just want to mention that I did construct a website called In Search of a New Age that was all about my grandfather's book, and we're thinking about reprinting it. And really, if I recall, I read it a couple times, the essence of the book was basically there's more to life than just things and forms and name and fame. And so few people get there. And here's a guy who apparently, according to the world, to society, you've done everything. You got a big family, you've made it rich, you're making a positive influence on society through your media. What else is there? He felt like he still didn't know the meaning of life. So his searches took him to India, and long story short, one of the conclusions he came to is everything is energy. He found a teacher, he found a guru, he learned to meditate, and he would get his own personal energy topped up through sitting an hour in silent meditation with closed eyes. And that was his big discovery of life is, wow, everything is energy, basically, and then you jump off from there.
This is what I'm all about.